How's it going, guys? I've mentioned them a lot so far in this series, and today we finally get to talk about them. Blight Lord Terminators! Oh yeah, stick around. Blight Lord Terminators. Alrighty. Let's go over them quite quickly. Their stats. They have a movement 5, weapon skill and ballistic skill of 3+. They have a strength 4 and a toughness of 5. They have 3 wounds. They have 3 attacks, but the champion has 4. Leadership is 8, and the champion's leadership is 9, and they have a 2+ save. Every model in this unit is equipped with a Combi Bolter and a Bale Sword. The Combi Bolter is Rapid Fire 2. It is Strength 4, AP 0, Damage 1. The Bale Sword is +1 Strength, AP -3, Damage 1, and a Plague Weapon. Keep in mind too, when these guys move, they can shoot Rapid Fire at full range, so those Combi Bolters are doing 4 shots pretty much all the time. War gear options, there's quite a bit in this. Any number of models can have their Bale Sword replaced with a Bubonic Axe. The axe has strength +2. It is AP -2. It is damage 1 and it is also a plague weapon. So your Bale Sword's a little bit lower strength but better AP. Your axe is a little bit higher strength but a little bit less AP. For every 5 models in the unit, one model's Combi Bolter can be replaced with a Combi Flamer. The same thing again, but one Combi Melter and another one, but a Combi Plasma. The Flamers is an auto hit strength 4 weapon. The Melters an anti-tank strength 8, -4, does extra damage when you're close. And the Combi Plasma, it's the same as the Plasmas mentioned earlier. They're not too bad. Yes and no, it's situational. The fact you can only take one for every 5 though, it's a bit, if you could take a whole unit with Melter or a whole unit with Plasma, that'd be a lot more useful, but unfortunately you can't. For every 5 models in the unit, one Blight Lord Terminator's Combi Bolter can be replaced with one of the following: a Blight Launcher or a Reaper Autocannon. The Reaper Autocannon is 36 inches, heavy 4, strength 7, AP -2, 1 damage. It's a little different to the regular autocannons from the Imperium. They are heavy 2, but then they do 2 damage each. I prefer this profile better. The Imperium ones are -1 AP, these are -2. I do prefer this profile better. I prefer damage 1 with more rate of fire as opposed to just straight 2 damage. Yeah, it's a bit more of a tougher anti-infantry type unit killing thing. The other one is the Blight Launcher. It's 24-inch range, assault 2, strength 6, AP -2, damage 2. So, like I mentioned with just before, the first one has more rate of fire. It's got the same AP, but it's got the damage 2. Where this thing becomes more useful though is the fact that it is a plague weapon. So you get the reroll once to wound, and then you can also bounce off with some stratagems that affect plague weapons. And then you can also reroll all failed wounds with the Arch Contaminator. So it's a bit of a much for muchness. They're the same points. It comes down to preference. I usually go with Blight Launchers because that's what I'm armed with on my models. For every 5 models in the unit, one Blight Lord Terminator's Combi Bolter can be replaced with one Plague Spewer. So you can take this in addition to those other 2. The Plague Spewer is range 12, heavy D6, strength 5, AP -1, 1 damage, and each time you attack with this weapon, it auto hits and plague weapon. For every 5 models in the unit, one Blight Lord Terminator's Combi Bolter and Bale Sword can be replaced with one Flail of Corruption. A Flail of Corruption is +1 strength, AP -2, damage 2, and a plague weapon. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, roll 2 hit rolls instead of 1. So your base guy's attacks 3, so when he's rolling with flails, he's then getting 6 attacks. You put the Strat on them, so the damage rolls over against single wound models. Suddenly, those 6 attacks can become 12 dead infantry, and you've got 2 of these in a squad of 10. So you'll absolutely just shred Horde apart. The unit has some special rules. It's got malicious volleys, which is the one that I mentioned before, where your bolters will fire at full range at all times. Remorseless is the one that stops you getting 1s and 2s for combat attrition. Just 1s will wipe out guys. Disgusting Resilient, so -1 damage on a toughness 5 3 wound model. That's pretty solid. Contagious Nurgle and Teleport Strike. Teleport Strike means you can just drop in at the next turn. Ideally start them on the board, but that's my preference. They also have a 4+ invulnerable save. So taking out these guys, you're really needing more wounds to consistently get through them. Otherwise it's just weight of dice and really high strength weapons like Darklands and things like that do lots of damage. You need at least 4 damage to just kill a guy straight out. So there are a lot of things out there now that do D3 plus 1 damage. D3 plus 3 damage. Those weapons will mince them, but that 4+ invulnerable save is going to protect you a little bit more. We've got some relics we can give to the Sarge. Well, not Sarge, I shouldn't say. He is a champion, and he should be affirmatively noted as so. One common one that you see people use a lot is the Plague Skulls of Golgotha. Once per battle, at the end of your movement phase, the bearer can use this relic. If it does, select one enemy unit within 6 inches of the bearer and roll 7d6s. For each 4 to 5, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. For each 6, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. Good way to just pump out some damage. The one I like to run though is the Plaguebringer. Plaguebringer, it is strength +2, AP -3, damage 2. And each time a model is destroyed as a result of an attack made with this weapon, that model counts as 2 destroyed models for the purpose of morale test this turn. So, because I'm running the stratagem on these guys a lot, that makes my damage roll through. This being on the champion gives him 4 attacks. His damage 2 from that will also roll over through the unit, so here's the potential of putting out 8 damage. So each of the flail guys do 12 each, that's 24. This guy's got a potential of 8 more damage. That's up in the 30s, and you still haven't put into factor your axes. So they have a way of just really cutting down Horde. If you come against something that's not Horde, like Space Marines, etc., like that, the flails and the sword will smash things extremely well. There is another unit in this book, that's Terminator, that does do the damage 2 thing pretty good as well. And they'll be the ones we talk about in the next video. Not right now. So if you go through the Photed Virums parts of this series, you'll see a lot of them that buff these guys up a lot. The one I think is probably the best, and I'm silly for not using it the other weekend, that is the Foul Blight Spawn. Take him there so these guys get to fight first, and they also remove the opponent's charging abilities, so they won't get extra attacks against you, things like that. It'll make them harder to kill. They're already hard to kill, they just get made harder to kill. What I also like about this unit is a lot of armies do have tough Terminators. You have to spend a lot of CP, you have to invest lots of characters in to make them tough. These guys can still stand alone and they're still tough, you know. You throw them on the table, they've got toughness 5, they've got -1 to damage, they've got 4+ invulnerable save, 2+ normal save. They're just solid without having to invest CP and additional points into them. They can put out a bit of firepower and they can take a fair bit of a hit back. They also kick ass in combat. They're not as good as the other guys we'll talk about, but they are still pretty good. And the best thing for them, I think, is to just push up to the midfield and just bully people and just hold objectives. Like, they're not impossible to kill, but your opponent's definitely going to have to do some focus on them. They usually do a lot of work for me. Anyways, that's the Blight Lord Terminators. Until next time, keep being awesome.